Mr. Speaker, I join you and the House in welcoming the boys from Lenana School. We are called Libons. We are also called Changerians, because changes you. And Mr. Speaker, as Senator Sifuna has alluded, in this House there's a gentleman who spent only one term in changes, and he could not stand the English pies that we used to eat and the loaves of bread that we used to eat. And so he went to a school in Western Kenya, in Chebukati, where he could get sweet potatoes and yams and arrowroots, because those could not be found at Lenana School. Mr. Speaker, this House has had the privilege of hosting a few Changerians. Yours truly is a Changerian, Block 5, James House. Mr. Speaker, Professor Kindiki, who in his lucid moments is a very good man. Mr. Speaker, we have also had Senator Hassan Omar. We have also had in this House, Mr. Speaker.
What is your point of order, Senator Boni?
Speaker, did you hear the Senator from Mutembei refer to the Cabinet Secretary using derogatory language and parliamentary language? To the extent, Mr. Speaker, that he suggests there are times when he's lucid and out of. Mr. Speaker, is that parliamentary? And even if you're saying aye, you have said aye.
Senator Kajwang, that was uncalled for. Kindly proceed to lift it out of your pronunciation today and conclude your welcoming remarks.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Let them be wonderful welcoming.
Professor Kindiki is generally a wonderful guy, generally. Mr. Speaker, I want to, through you, just encourage the boys from Changes.
Kindly withdraw the lucid moment.
Mr. Speaker, I will withdraw it. Perhaps his lucidity is 99.9% of the time.
Proceed to conclude your remarks.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the boys from Changes, through the chair, I want to encourage them that let Changes change you from boys to men, and real men at that. Let Changes change you from villagers to nationalists. Mr. Speaker, if you look at the political landscape, there's quite a number of Changerians, as well as a number of Busherians, and to the boys in the gallery, the chair of this House is a Busherian, and I think a very polished one. And Mr. Speaker, earlier on I was complaining that perhaps the clerk of the House, who is an old boy of Starehe, perhaps didn't want the Changerians to be acknowledged, and I withdraw those earlier allegations. Mr. Speaker, how I wish that many members, even in this House, would have had the privilege of going to Changes, because sometimes you hear some villageness, sometimes you hear some things that good schooling would have been able to squeeze out. And the boys from Changes, please keep it up. This is a wonderful school. Keep the rose bright, ye emblem. Please go for nothing but the best. As we say, nihil praeter optimum. And I hope that some of you will find your way here. But as I always say, I don't think we need more politicians in this country. A lot of Changerians are doing excellent work in the private sector, in government, and I want to encourage you that don't just think of Kenya. The world is your village. If you've gone to a school that was called the Duke of York, if you've gone to a school with a kind of finesse and a school that produces gentlemen like Lenana School, then Kenya should not be your playground. Let the world be your playground. Remember that Elon Musk, who is the richest man in the world currently, was educated in South Africa. Remember that people like Mark Shuttleworth, who have been able to build crafts that take us to space, and who was responsible for building some very innovative Linux operating systems, came from Africa. And remember that this is a country that produced Wangari Maathai. So please do not aspire just to be in Kenya. And Mr. Speaker, my observation is that this House has never had someone from Nairobi School. And that is quite interesting, Mr. Speaker. You know, Nairobi School and Lenana are traditional rivals. But if you go to county assemblies, there are a lot of people from Nairobi School. So that tells you the kind of outcome and output you get from Changes.